Well, Liam, great seeing you as always, mate, here at the Natasha Jonas, Michaela Mayer press conference. But listen, let's reflect back to your defeat with Chris Eubank Jr. back in September. You've had time to reflect on that now, and what's your thoughts on that?
Just is what it is. I took a lot of stick for the performance, but like I said, I know my reasons for the performance, and that's why I'm here today, and I'm going to put it right next time round. If I had a good camp and boxed well and performed like that, I'd have retired right away.
Sure.
Yeah, so I know the issues behind it. Just a bad performance, a bad camp, and Chris got it right on the night, and that's all I can put it down to.
Yeah, I mean, the fight was cancelled, it was delayed for you having back injuries, etc. You could see from the opening bell actually that there was something wrong. I could see that there was a lot of rolling of the ankles, etc. But you didn't look the fighter you was the first time you defeated him, and I put that down to you maybe going in there not 100% fit, but having to take the fight.
Yeah, look, like I said, it's been and gone now for me. Obviously, I should never have been in the ring in hindsight, and like I said, hindsight, I thought, make weight, which was my battle, I'll beat Chris, and that's what I thought going into it. I just thought, as long as I get the weight right, as long as I make the weight, I'll get it right on the night. Little gloves on, with a crowd, I don't mind the fight. I'll beat Chris and I'll air Chris again, and that was what I thought. And obviously, look, that backfired on me massively, and it's a lesson learned, and it's a lesson learned for me going forward with my own fighters who I manage. I was pushed into that date, and hindsight now, I was never ever going to be ready September 2nd.
Sure, I mean, look, the first performance you had against Chris, you surprised a lot of people. You took him out in style, in fashion. You give him the return going in there, and obviously you went in, and we've just talked about the reasons, why, you was possibly not 100% fit. Would you like the trilogy? Would you like to go over old ground again? I mean, what's the future for you right now, Liam? Where do where are you going? What's the plans? And could it be Chris Eubank Jr. again?
Look, I'd love it. I go on record now and saying I'd take a lot less money to fight Chris again. I'd pay money out my own pace to have the third fight with him. But I know he's not going to give me. I know he's going to run away with that and take that, because he knows he'll never beat me like that again in his life. All his Christmases come at once, basically. He just had a standing target. I've never performed like that in my whole career. I've always been a good, solid 12-round fighter. Never mind, not throwing any punches. So I can't see him giving me the rematch. But never say never. He's not getting any other fights. The Conor Benn fight's not going to happen for him. He's probably not going to get a world title fight. So, look, never say never. But I'm not in a bad position either, to be honest with you. I'm getting good offers at the moment for the fight. But I'm just going to get myself ready with no pressure. I'm not forced into a date off anybody. I'm a free agent again, so I've had a good rest after the Eubank loss, which have let me back heal, my ankle heal, and I feel I'm fully healed now. Now it's time for me to get back into shape.
So what you're saying is you are going to continue. There is opportunities out there for you, and it's just when you choose to do them.
Yeah, 1,000,000% I'm going to continue. Like I said, if I had a good camp and performed like that, I would have retired right away. I know the issues. I never won a bad fighter overnight. I was the best middleweight in the world in January. I never had a fight in between that made me go old or made me go shot, and then obviously I was a shot fighter and finished when I boxed him in a rematch. It doesn't make sense. So obviously I know the issues behind it, but yeah, I'm in a good position again. I'm getting good offers that'll surprise you, to be honest.
Are you going to give us them offers?
No, I can't, because I'm not in a position to accept them at the moment. Right, and that's where I go back to, I'm getting myself ready now. I've had the rest I needed with the injuries I had, and I'm not forced into a date off boxer. I'm not forced into a date off Matchroom. I'm going to get myself fit, and then I'll speak to the people who made them offers and say, right, okay, well, I'm ready for April. What date do you want to give me?
Brilliant. Well, listen, let's move on to your brother, actually. Last weekend against Bellew, it was always a tall order. It was always a tough ask. Yeah. I actually picked him to win that fight. I thought that he had the tools in the locker to pull off, which would have been a big upset. Yeah. But it didn't go his way, did it? It was a tough fight, and Bellew, I mean, he put in a great performance on Saturday. Yeah,
of course. Obviously, I think a lot of people pick Callum. A lot of people fancy stylistically wise. It was a fight that could have been made for Callum, but it didn't go that way. Obviously, it's no secret you're fighting a man who's got 3 world titles, who's stopped every opponent he's been in the ring with. A great fighter and an absolute animal, really. And like I said, a lot of things have overshadowed a few things, but to strip everything down, we knew what we was up against anyway. he was an animal and a beast before it, he'll still be like that after it.
I mean, we looked at the performance against Anthony Yarde, and that's what I was taking it off. I looked at those performances, and you saw him sort of holding his feet, and he loves to throw that right hand, and he was reaching in with that, but he left himself open for that check left hook. And you look through Callum's show reel, and the way that he finished most of his opponents off with that shot, and that's what I was banking. That's what I was banking on, thinking that is a possibility, but it just never come for him.
No, it didn't. And look, it's just better be. I've got to, you're an elite fighter. You're not gonna make them mistakes. This is no disrespect to Anthony Yarde either, by the way, but you can make them mistakes against Yarde. Yarde doesn't throw left hook like Callum Smith, and again, I'm not digging Anthony Yarde for that. Anthony Yarde put in a great performance with Bellew also, but you know, like the way Canelo done with Callum, didn't give Callum the left hook because he was punching him in the arm. I don't think Bellew have done it either, but you know, I think Bellew have got it right and made better adjustments than he did, you know, against Yarde, and I think he was more on it. We were told that before it off his coach Mark Ramsey.
I mean, well, where does Callum go now? You know, I know he's just going to take time, you know, take a little bit of time out and see where he wants to go and sort of where it lies. I mean, Anthony Yarde, you mentioned there, that's a great all-British fight. That's a fight that the public would love to see, but you know, what is his future right now? Has he suggested what he wants to do? Does he still want to continue? Does he want to rebuild again, try and get that world title back, or you know, is he thinking about retirement?
I think he's probably thinking all of them things. Spencer, to be honest with you, and retirement is an option for him. He's definitely not going to rebuild. That's one thing he's not going to do, and that's not being disrespectful. He didn't carry on boxing after the Canelo loss to do that. He wanted to become a two-way world champion, and he failed at that the weekend. Now, them titles are going to be tied up for a long time, a little bit now, because they're going to fight each other, and you don't know what they're going to do after that. So they're going to be tied up for a little bit. So, look, I know there's still a huge fight for him. I know he can still become a world champion again, but his point of view, he only wants to be a world champion. He doesn't need like money fights. He doesn't need, you know, to rebuild, and he doesn't want to stay in the game that long.
When you've been like British, Commonwealth, European, World, Ring Magazine, you've had all that. It must be very difficult to pick yourself up again after a defeat like that at this stage of his career. And like you say, you know, you don't want those rebuilding fights. He wants to go back into the big fights, and that's possibly the only reason why he'd continue.
Yeah, like I said before, it's different. People have got different goals in life. People have got different incentives, and you know, when he carried on boxing after his loss, it was to become world champion again at 2 weights, and that was it. Like I said, he's been very fortunate. He's had a great career, and he's earned a truckload of money. You know, other fighters haven't, so that's why, you know, other fighters will choose a huge domestic fight for more money than a world title. He wouldn't, because of the position he's in, and that's just the way, you know, the cookie crumbles at the moment. People need more money than the title. He wants the title and money, and they say the titles are going to be tied up now. So I think he's got a, you know, I know he's my brother, he's my younger brother also, and I know he's got a decision to make. Listen, whatever he chooses to do, I think that Callum's been an unbelievable ambassador for British boxing, and you know, and whatever he chooses to do, I wish him all the best on that. Listen, I want to move on just quickly. Natasha Jonas, Michaela Mayer, we're here live at the press conference. Great fight. Let's talk a little bit about Tash. You know, what she's done, not just for the city of Liverpool, but for herself as well, you know, with those knockbacks with Terry Harper, that controversial draw. Then she moved up her weight and she boxed Katie Taylor, and you think, is she going to be the girl, the nearly girl, the one that doesn't quite get over the line? And she moves up to super welterweight, beats Chris Namas in unbelievable fashion, and then comes down to welterweight again, becomes a two-weight world champion. I mean, that is an unbelievable thing that she's achieved there. Yeah, unbelievable, an unbelievable career that's still going and still seems to be getting better. But it was always going to be, it was deserved, it was always justified, and it was always written she was going to be a world champion. She was always too good not to. Did you always have belief in her that she was going to become a champion even after the Katie Taylor defeat and 1,000,000% I did, because she was good enough to go through the weights. Like, you know, in women's boxing, the talented ones can go up in the weights. You know, it doesn't always come down to size. And like I say, when you punch like she punches, you know, in female boxing, she can go up in weight. But she should have been a world champion the first time of asking.
Sure.
She should have beat Terry Harper. She put in a great performance against the prime Katie Taylor. And then obviously she went up in weight and got her world titles and got a justification. And then obviously now she's put herself in some big fights. She's earned great money for, you know, herself and her daughter. And you know, I'm buzzing to see her. I'm buzzing to see her getting a spotlight back in Liverpool.
Sure, I mean, Tony Bellew was on talkSPORT earlier on in the week and he was saying she could go down. And we've had some great fighters, you know, from Liverpool going back to, you know, Paul Hodgkinson, John Conte, like yourself, the Smith family. Yeah. Tony Bellew said she could go down as one of the greatest fighters ever to come out of Liverpool. That's a huge statement. Definitely,
and like, look, she's right up there anyway, regardless of what she goes on to do and regardless of what anybody else comes to do. She's right in the mix and she's going to be right on everyone's lips when you ask that question. So, you know, she should be on everyone's lips. She's won 4 world titles now, I think. Sure. You know, 3 at super welter, 1 at welter. You know, she should be on everyone's lips, and she is one of the best fighters to come out of the city.
Sure, listen, we was there yesterday at the open workout and all the kids that were there for her, and Tash said that she was there and it was all about inspiring the next generation, inspiring the young female boxers, the young boxers in general, and she seems to have captured the imagination of the younger kids in Liverpool through what she's achieved.
Yeah, massively, because she's a role model, she's a mum, she's a lovely woman, really, you know what I mean? She doesn't badmouth people, and she tries to, you know, she brings little Marla everywhere with her, and like you see at the press conference yesterday, you know, she's got her there.
That was the highlight, wasn't it? With her, you know what I mean? The press conference, messing around.
You know what's mad? I've seen for years now. I tried that skipping with her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So I've seen her doing it yesterday. And like I say, when people see that, you just think, what a woman, really. Yeah. And that's why people look up to her, and that's why she is a great role model for the city.
Brilliant. Listen, let's talk about the fight, Mikaela Mayer. It's a great fight. It really is. Two great female boxers that are trying to achieve, you know, greatness within the sport, and this one has the makings of a classic. How do you see this fight going against Mayer, who's, you know, she's strong, she likes to push forward, and we know Tash is very heavy-handed, 9 of her 14 victories by KO. How do you see it going, Liam?
I think it's a good fight. Like I said, it's a mad one because I spoke about this fight a long time ago. I thought it was a great fight to super featherweights. I really did rate Mikaela Mayer, but once they've gone up in the weights and the way Tasha's career has gone through the roof, I just think everything points towards Tasha at the moment. Momentum, confidence,
can she get
punch
it done
power
inside
at the
the distance?
I think she can. Yeah, I think. Look, it's Mayer's, you know, second fight at a higher weight. I think she only had 1, and I think Tasha's had a few at super welter with big girls, you know. And I remember Tasha's first couple of fights, the big girls who she can't really get out of there. She's felt it late, Tasha's felt it late on in them fights because of the weight difference, and I feel Mayer could struggle down the stretch.